Ever get that, like, vaguely creepy feeling
Mhm.
when you're online and it's like the ads can read your mind?
Haha, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, hold on, how did they know I was just looking at fuzzy unicorn slipper?
Exactly. And it all ties into today's deep dive. We're talking first-party data and what it means for, well, everyone.
It's one of those things everyone's heard of first-party data, GDPR, cookie pop-ups, but might not totally get.
For sure. So cookie pop-ups, right? Everyone just clicks
Yeah.
accept, but like, what's the big deal here?
It's huge, GE. Okay, imagine this. Every time you're online, browsing, adding to your cart, actually buying something.
You're leaving a trail of digital breadcrumbs.
That's it. That's first-party data in a nutshell. It's info companies get directly from you, the user.
So not just like, oh, they're 25, 34 and live in a city, but actual stuff you're interested in.
Exactly. And that's where things get super interesting, both for these companies and for us as, well, the people on the receiving end of all those targeted ads.
Okay, so less about demographics, more about behavior. That sounds like a gold mine for marketers, but honestly, is this a good thing? Are we getting a better internet or just like creepier ads?
It's a great question, and the answer is it's complicated. Let's think about it with an example. Say you have a lifestyle magazine. Right. Online, of course.
They want to sell ad space, obviously.
Right. But instead of just knowing how many people visit their site, they can now see exactly what people are clicking on. Let's say articles about sustainable fashion are suddenly getting a ton of traffic.
Makes sense everyone's thinking about that these days.
And the magazine can see people are spending more time on those pages, really engaging with the content.
So they can go to advertisers and say, hey, we've got a highly engaged audience interested in eco-friendly fashion.
Exactly. It's a win-win because the magazine can charge more for those ads, and advertisers are reaching the right people, those actually interested in their stuff.
So instead of getting bombarded with random ads, we start seeing things we might actually want.
Potentially, yes. It's all about that personalized experience, and that's the promise of first-party data, at least in theory.
So it sounds like we're talking about a totally new way of doing business, especially for media companies.
It's a whole different ballgame. We're not in the era of Mad Men anymore, that's for sure.
So no more like 3 martini lunches to close a deal on a billboard.
Those days are fading fast. This is about data, insights, and offering solutions tailored to each client's needs.
It's less about selling ad space and more about being like digital matchmakers, right?
Love that analogy. You're spot on. Think of it this way. A media sales rep walks into a meeting, right? But they're not just there to hawk ad space. They come armed with data.
So instead of buy my billboard, it's here's what we know about your target audience and here's how we can help you reach them.
Exactly. And they can back it up with hard numbers. Let's say, for example, they're repping a popular social media platform.
Lots of younger users, super active, all that.
And they're talking to a fashion brand that's struggling to connect with Gen Z. Boom! They hit them with the data. This demographic is spending way more time on our platform than anywhere else.
And it's not just random. They can show why, right? Like maybe Gen Z loves this one specific feature the platform has.
Bingo. Maybe it's a new video format or some interactive element that's really resonating, that's way more compelling than just saying, hey, we have young people. It's showing the why behind the numbers.
Like the difference between a shot in the dark and a guided missile.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
And that's the power shift we're talking about. Media sales becomes less about pushing a product and more about building genuine partnerships, all fueled by data and a deep understanding of what makes people tick.
Okay, so we've talked about the upsides, but like this all sounds a little, I don't know, too good to be true. We can't just ignore the potential downsides of all this data collection.
You're absolutely right. It's not all sunshine and roses. With great power comes great responsibility.
Right. Exactly. It's like that old saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should. We've all seen those headlines, data breaches, companies misusing information.
And that's why transparency is so crucial in this new era of first-party data. Companies need to be upfront about what data they're gathering and, just as important, how they're using it.
No more hiding behind those walls of text in the terms of service that nobody reads.
Exactly. People should actually know what they're agreeing to, and they should have control over their own data.
It's about moving away from the shadows
Yeah.
and towards a system that's built on trust. Right.
100%. And this transparency needs to extend to how companies report on their ad campaigns, too. It's not enough to just tell advertisers, hey, it's working. They need to back it up.
So none of those vague vanity metrics. It's about showing the why and the how.
Precisely. Clear, meaningful metrics that prove campaigns are actually being optimized based on data and, crucially, user feedback.
So it's a continuous process, always evolving and adapting.
That's the key. And it requires a real shift in how we think about advertising. It's not a one-and-done deal. It's about constantly listening, learning, and improving.
This all makes me wonder about the people on the front lines, the media sales teams. Are they ready for this?
It's a whole new skill set, that's for sure. It's not just about selling anymore. It's about becoming a trusted advisor, someone who really understands the data and can translate that into actionable insights for clients.
So less buy my product, more let's work together to achieve your goals.
Exactly. And that requires a deep understanding of the technology, the ethics, the whole nine yards.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. It seems like first-party data is completely reshaping the media landscape, from the way ads are sold to the way we experience the internet.
It's a fundamental shift, and we're just at the beginning. And the exciting part is we don't know exactly where it's going to lead.
And that's what makes it so fascinating, right? It's like a whole new world opening up, full of possibilities,
Yeah,
but also, some potential pitfalls.
for sure. And that's the conversation we need to be having. How do we make sure this new era of data-driven everything benefits everyone? How do we balance personalization with privacy? These are the big questions we'll all be grappling with moving forward.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of a good deep dive, right? We've explored the what, the why, the how, but the most important question, the so what.
Hmm.
Oh, that's something we'll all be figuring out together as we move forward.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this journey, everyone, and keep those digital breadcrumbs coming.
And until next time, keep it locked, right here on The Deep Dive.